Fun sponges, naysayers, doom mongers. If your life is impacted by people who are constantly negative, this video is probably for you. Have you ever had it, which you probably have? You're trying to put a suggestion forward or think about doing something new, and someone comes back with something negative or depressing on the reasons why it can't be done or why it shouldn't be done, or someone they knew who was a friend of a friend of a cousin of an auntie went somewhere once and had a bit of a negative experience. So basically, everyone should stay in bed and wrap themselves in an absolutely enormous sleeping bag and never do anything different or challenging. Well, we've put together 5 things which will enable you to overcome these obstacles faced by naysayers. The first one is to be aware of it. When people are negative, sometimes you take it on board as a genuine piece of criticism or a suggestion, but after a while, it becomes pretty evident that some people are just negative all the time. Just be aware of it, and then you can decide how you're going to act to it. The next point in relation to that is to set clear boundaries. Sometimes if you have to deal with negative people, such as a work environment, or it could be to do with customers who you work with, you have to deal with them and you have to take them with a pinch of salt. But if it's not compulsory and you don't have to deal with them, it's often better to cut them off and set clear boundaries on the amount of communication you actually have with them so they don't impact your life too much. The third point is to create a supportive network, a group of people who are positive, and that counteracts like some sort of polar opposite against the negative forces. Think of good and evil, Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker coming together, negative forces and positive forces. If you have enough positive force there, you're probably going to be okay. The fourth point is to grow resilience. Often you can be put back by people who are negative towards you, and you take their suggestions and their negativity on board. But sometimes you just got to hold your hand up and say, talk to the palm, the face isn't listening. I'm not taking on board any of the nonsense you're coming out with. Build up that resilience and cast them to one side. And the final stage is a strategic indifference and being able to reframe certain situations with a positive light. Some people will be negative, they'll come at you with the possibilities of disaster, but sometimes these can be reframed as opportunities. So if there's for example, some sort of recession in the world and everyone's got less money, it could be an opportunity rather than to capitulate and say we're not going to do anything, to sell cheaper products or do something that's going to offer value to people with less money or available income. It could be something like that. Look at opportunities that can come possibly from negative situations, but don't dwell too much on the negativity. So, to reiterate those 5 points, be aware when someone's a fun sponge and they're dragging you down or they're trying to drag you down to their level. Set clear boundaries on communications. Don't get dragged into the nonsense of naysayers who are just going to wallow in their own self pity and doubt and often insecurities. Cultivate a support network. So there's going to be a positive force for every negative. And if not, hopefully you can overcome that with some big personalities who are ultimately positive. Focus on resilience and be happy to give people the palm and say, I'm not taking you on. And build up a method of being able to reframe negative situations into a positive. And if you take those steps forward, your ability to deal with the fun sponges, the naysayers, and the negative people is going to be vastly improved.